All right, Shalom. This is Brother Tazabah from the GMS Atlanta camp. Want to start out by giving our glory, infinite praises to Yahweh Shemi Awashai. Double honors to my apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that teach and that rule well. Salutations unto the Akim throughout the four corners that are putting their life on the line week in and week out. And salutations to the few women and children that subscribe in faith and sincerity, all charity and subjection, because that's key. All right, we getting more so into these breakdowns, man. You know, and I just want to go here. Going, Lord willing, I do a series going into particular book of Revelations, the particular chapters in the book of Revelations, and break those chapters down individually, because contrary to popular beliefs, this book is not sealed unto us anymore. If you was to go into any Christian church in the early 2000s, the 90s, especially the 80s and the 90s, they would tell you that this book is sealed. We don't have full understanding of it. No, nigga, you don't have full understanding. But the servants of Yahweh Shemi Awashai, well, he revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets, and they have an unction to know all things. So therefore, we know these things, man. So we can go into the book of Revelations, man. All right. So I'm gonna go here. This is Revelations. I'm gonna go into Revelations 8. All right. It says, and when he had opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven about the space of half an hour. And I saw the seven angels which stood before Yahweh, and to them were given seven trumpets. All right. And those seven trumpets are going into those seven seals, going into it's going into the seven seals, man. It's going into the Lord's ultimate coming. Verse 3, it says, and another angel came and stood at the altar, having a golden cistern, and there was given unto him much incense, that he should offer it with prayers of all saints upon the golden altar, which was before the throne. All right, and a golden cistern is the little it looks like you'll have a piece of coal on it. And they have a little container and it had a little top, and they'll swing it back and forth, and it's on the chain. The priest would do that. That's a golden cistern. All right. And it says that he shall offer it with prayers of all the saints, which is the 144,000, the elect, upon the golden altar, which was before the throne. And the smoke of the incense which came up from the prayers of the saints ascended before Yahweh out of the angel's hand. And the angel took the cistern and filled it with fire of the altar and cast it into the earth. And there were voices and thunderings and lightnings and an earthquake. All right. And this is getting into the meat of it. And the seven angels which had the seven trumpets prepared themselves to sound. All right. So those seven angels is a part of those seven seals, man. All right. It says to prepare a sound. And what is that sound? The sound of Yahweh Shemi Awashai is coming. All right. Through the various plagues, through the various prophecies, they make a sound. It says, the first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire, mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth. Now, it says the first angel sounded, and there were hail and fire mingled with blood. Now, if I could, that leads me to Revelation chapter 15, verse 2, because that fire mingled with blood is the representation of fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth, and the third parts of the trees were burnt up, and all green grasses was burnt up. So that third part, let me hit that last part first. That third part of the trees is Esau. All right. Because we seen that Yahweh Shai asked the man that he healed the blindness. He said, what dost thou see? And he said, I see men walking against trees. What was said of Adam and Eve biting of the forbidden fruit? It was of the forbidden tree, and we know trees are men, so it was a philosophy, it was a doctrine. All right. So the third parts of trees were burnt up, and all green grass was burnt up. That's speaking of Esau here in America. All right. But I wanted to get that mingled with blood. That leads me Revelation chapter 15, verse 2. And And I saw as it was a sea of glass mingled with fire. That's because the elect were taken up into chariots, and it was a glass bottom that we could see the judgment that was being played out on earth, and we could see the lake of fire, which is America. All right. And them that had gotten let me read back. And I saw as it was a sea of glass mingled with fire. So the chariot's going to be standing right above to that. The tip tops of the flame is going to be just like, damn, I don't know if the chariot's in the fire. It ain't in the fire. It was mingled. All right. And them that had gotten the victory over the beast. And who was the beast? That's Esau, man. That the NATO, the EU in this image, the mark of the beast. And over his image and over his mark and over the numbers of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. So yeah, these men, all right, the ones that had gotten the victory over the beast, over his image, over his mark, and over the numbers of his name, 666. All right, Kasai Stigma, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. So they were praising the Lord as they seen the destruction of America. All right. So let's continue. Verse 8. All right. And the second angel sounded, and as it was a great mountain burning with a fire was cast into the sea, and the third part of the sea became blood. And that third part, yet again, is speaking to Esau. All right. But it says, and it was a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea. All right. That yeah, if I'm saying it right, that great let me jump to it. I'll go to it. This is Jeremiah 51:25. And behold, I am against the old destroying mountain, saith Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. So that burning, it says Salak. I'm jumping back and forth. All right. Let me get back to it. Salak. Yeah, here we are. And it says, and the second angel sounded, and it was a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea, and the third part of the sea became blood. So yeah, that great mountain that was set on fire was Esau's government, because a mountain is a representation of government, and hills are smaller governments. So it says it was a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea. So let's jump back to Jeremiah 51:25. Behold, I am against the old destroying mountain, that destroying government, which is Esau, that have went throughout the earth with his rape, rob, and pillaging doctrine. You know, doest thou wilt spirit, that doctrine. O destroying mountain, saith the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, which destroyeth all the earth, air, water, and land. You see? And spirit. I will stretch out my hand upon thee and roll thee down from the rocks and will make thee a burnt mountain. So that's that burnt mountain. And it's Esau. He's going to throw it into the sea, man. All right. Continuing. And the third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died, and the third parts of the ships were destroyed. Verse 10. And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven. All right. It says, and the angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it was a lamp, and it fell upon the third part of the rivers and upon the fountains of the water. All right. And that's speaking to thermonuclear fire. Those missiles. All right. A great star from heaven, burning as it was a lamp. Hey, because when those missiles those arrows get shot out of those silos, they go up into the heaven, because the Lord is going to put his spirit and his indignation upon those missiles. And when it comes back down, it's going to be stronger than what it was when it went up. All right. It says, and it fell upon the third parts of the river and then upon the foundations of the waters. And the name of the star is called wormwood. And the third parts of the waters became wormwood. And many men died of the waters because they were made bitter. And we're going to get into that because we understand the stories of the waters that, it was a tainted water. They put the wood in the water and the water was made sweet. Well, this wormwood that's put in these particular waters is going to make the water bitter. Because when the men was drinking the water before the wood was put in, before the Lord told them to drop the particular wood in the water, every man that came unto that water died, man. All right? So it says wormwood. Let's get the meaning for wormwood. All right. And when you look into wormwood, matter of fact, let me go to it. If I could, just bear with me, Baba Gusha. All right. Let's see.
Strong's G894.
Absinthion, a name of a star which fell into the waters and made them bitter. All right, so let's look up something. All right, Chernobyl. Matter of fact, let me pull it up for you. The meaning of Chernobyl.
Chernobyl means a town near Kiev in Ukraine where an accident at a nuclear power station in April 1986 resulted in serious radioactive contamination in Ukraine, Belarus, and other parts of Europe.
Okay, so let's see what does the name Chernobyl mean? Chernobyl means wormwood in Ukrainian and in Russian. You see? So Chernobyl is a land that was they had a chemical power plant, a chemical reactor that went off in Ukraine, the same place that Russia's strong arming right now. They had a nuclear accident and that place became uninhabitable. You see? That land became bitter. Anything that grew out of that place was bitter. Wolves growing with 4 eyes, fishes born with 2 tails, 2 heads, snakes born with 3 heads. You see, and that's all of the things that came from Chernobyl, which means wormwood. So let's go back, man. Cause you can't play the Lord, man. Ain't no we can't get one up on the Most High, man. You see, so all of these things is prophecies, man. If you can't see it, then the Lord simply is just not dealing with you. All right. It says, because they were made bitter. Verse 12. And the 4th angel sounded, and the 3rd part of the sun was smitten, and the 3rd part of the moon, and the 3rd parts of the stars, so as the 3rd parts of them were darkened, and the day shone not for a 3rd part of it, in the night likewise. Why? Because of the thermonuclear plume clouds, man. Look at the clouds that's sitting over Ohio. Because of that chemical derailment waste. Look at that. Yeah, look at those clouds over there, man. So what more for thermonuclear missiles that's hitting all over the place? It's gonna blot out the sun. It's gonna blot out the moon. Gonna blot out the stars. Verse 13. And I beheld and heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, Woe, 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 or destruction, 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 to the inhabitants of the earth by reason of the other voices of the trumpets of the 3 angels which are not yet to sound. So that verse 13 is an indicator of that the Lord does everything in a time, and he does it in increments, that every prophecy, even the ones that are gonna be, it's gonna be a domino effect. It still has its purpose, it has its place. One must be set before the other can be activated, man. All right. So, that's the breakdown for the Revelations 8, but it was one particular precept I forgot to bring out, and that was this here in 1 Corinthians, but I want to bring out the because I had brought out early in Revelations 15, all right, that we were gonna be what? We were that I read it back, and it says, I saw as if it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast. So that victory that they had gotten over the beast to get into those chariots come by way of 1 Corinthians 15 and 52. All right, because I brought out verse Revelations 15 based off what I was reading in Revelations 8. So I pull this here. 1 Corinthians 15 and 52. How we're going to escape that thermonuclear fire. Like, while the missiles are being hit on this place, the elect, Lord willing, we be a part of that number. We're going to be in the chariots. But how we're going to get there? 1 Corinthians 15 and 52. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. You see, that same trumpet, that seal. All right. That's why you got to read this book line upon line, precept upon precept. Here a little, there a little. All right. To get the full understanding. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this corruption must put on incorruption. Yeah, this flesh, we're going to put on celestial bodies. And this mortal must put on immortality. Yeah, these people, the people that expect us to die, no, we expect to live. So the Lord's going to do it, therefore, because that's the desires of our heart, because that was a part of his promises, man. You see? So we expect it to be delivered from this thermonuclear fire. Everybody wants to, where are you going? If it's going to be a part, hey, I'm being the chariot, Lord willing. All right? But that's all we had that's all I had through the Spirit, Lord willing. This lesson was edifying. I want to end out by giving all glory and infinite praises unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, double understand my apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Until the next time, shalom.